Why appoint two co-presidents only then to appoint one sole president? Has it been a test this whole time? And if so, how did Solomon win?
Well, 15 months ago, Goldman named two co-chief operating officers. And after 15 months, the board obviously made a decision that David Solomon will be the next CEO. Our best estimate is that Lloyd Blankfein will step down in 2019. That'll be the 150-year anniversary of the creation of Goldman Sachs. And while Goldman had a tough year last year, fourth quarter was the worst trading quarter since the financial crisis. 2017 was the worst trading year since the financial crisis. The stock price has underperformed, and there's been questions about the strategy. Having said that, we think Goldman is poised to outperform over the next year, and as a result, that Lloyd Blankfein will be passing the baton on to David Solomon from a standpoint of relative strength.
What are Solomon's challenges now? I mean, he has a lot of experience, decades of experience from Bear and onwards, and he was, tapped by, John Winkelried to come over. But will he have some challenges with the trading side of things?
Well, clearly, David Solomon's strength is on the investment banking side. For the decade that David Solomon ran banking, the revenues of Goldman Sachs were down 20%, but the revenues for his area in banking were up 10%. So he's headed the area with good growth and one of the best corporate Rolodexes around. I mean, the relationships between Goldman Sachs and corporations and governments is as strong as it can get. But as you point out, the challenge here is with trading. I mean, Goldman Sachs has been worst in class for their growth rates in trading over 1 quarter, 1 year, or 5 years. So the challenge and opportunity is for Goldman Sachs to better leverage those corporate relationships to do business across the firm, not just investment banking, but also on the trading side.
Mike, what are the other priorities for Goldman Sachs under whoever it's going to be in the next 2 to 3 years?
Well, Goldman Sachs was slow to pivot. I mean, take a look at Morgan Stanley at the start of the decade. They made a change to more wealth management. And look at some of these other firms that changed. Goldman Sachs did not even use the word pivot until September 12, 2017. On the positive side, the pivot is taking Goldman Sachs from what we call from FIC to FAC, from fixed income trading to more financings, asset management clients, cash securities, and corporate clients. Another part of the pivot, though, we aren't as convinced. That's for the mass market consumer lending, what you could call going from caviar to cheeseburgers. In other words, Goldman's forte has been dealing with the highest end of corporate America, the highest level of individuals, and now Goldman Sachs is going for the person on the street to give some consumer loans. So that's a tough challenge, and investors remain skeptical about that. Having said that, back to Goldman's long-term wheelhouse of dealing with capital markets and large corporations, that's what we think will take them higher over the next year.